Okay, today we're at Houston, Texas, and we're here at Paul Cesak's house, and we're at an ON3 layout. This is one of those great scenic narrow gauge layouts, and we'll be taking you around on a tour today as we do some operating here in the middle of February in 2015.
Give you a gist of what the operating.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at a very elaborate electronics installation here.
That is for this?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's usually what people say.
Okay. Comments were by Dick Snyder, okay?
Sorry.
Dick's over here, okay? But the comments are well pointed, I have to say. I would like to make note of one thing here that I see. And there's a few of us around here who may know what this is. An awful lot of you have never seen this. But this is the original electronic sound system. It's quite an apparatus. I had the full-blown system myself at one time. You don't find any ones like this you find. It's going to be something somebody is going to a lot of painstaking care. Pacific Sound System, and this is a fast mail unit. It's a mini. There's one that's much larger, and I don't know, do you have the reverb unit on it?
I do. It's in the box below it.
Okay, this one has a reverberation unit, and I'm sure by the time we get finished, you're going to find out what real sound sounds like.
They are great.
So how many blocks are on the railroad, Paul?
There are 24 blocks.
Okay, and
There are 18 switches, turnouts.
Okay. And you are depicting what part of the country, or?
Well, this is southern Colorado. We used to have land in Pagosa Springs, and so this is sort of Pagosa area, East Pagosa, between Pagosa and Durango. And we're mimicking some of the logging operations that were done there, as well as the mining operations.
Okay. How long have you been working on this?
This layout probably has about 15 or 16 years in it.
Okay.
But a lot of the buildings that are on this layout came from a previous layout.
So, as most model railroaders, this isn't your first time at the bat.
Not my first rodeo. You're right. Started out in HO standard gauge, and before I moved to this, I was hand laying everything and scratch building structure. So I said, well, why not just move up to a scale where you can see what's being done.
You did all your own trees here?
A lot of them. A lot of them came from Canyon Scenics, and I learned how to build them from them, and started building them on my own too.
It definitely makes a difference for the scenery.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, we get some trains running here. Go back and.
So that noise you heard was all the presets, all getting set to a preset. If that makes sense.
Yeah, if for those people in this situation, who wrote the program?
Well, Bruce Chubb did the original, but there's probably only about 10 lines in here that are Bruce's.
Okay.
Everything else is between a guy by the name of Ed Crone and myself.
Okay, so you've basically rewritten the program to run the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've added a lot of other things to be able for the trains to completely run themselves, such as infrared lights. That little hole in that barrel
Okay.
is an infrared light shooting over to the other side of it in this
Okay.
stack, or the hole in that barrel, the other one side is here. So when an engine cuts it, if you look on the screen, you can see it's green. If I put my hand in there, it turns it red. See where it's red? Because it's blocked out. So that shoots. Oh, hey.
Put your hand in there.
Oh, come on. Right there.
Okay, and wait a minute, hold on a second. I gotta redo this. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a little chop. Take your hand out. There you go.
Yeah.
So, that's your infrared sensor.
Infrared light or photo transistors between the rails. So like back here, when you get to come to up to an end of track, I don't know if you can see them, but there's a little photo transistor right here. And if I cover that, see it turns red over there?
Okay.
Right? So the light's shooting down on it, and then when an engine gets over it or car or something over it, it tells the computer when to stop.
All right. That's
Or slow it down or start it stopping. So, all right, let's see what happens here. Of course, whenever someone comes is usually when it doesn't work, right?
okay. Sure.
That's just the nature of it. So all I'm going to do is hit demo and hit number 1 and let it go. And hopefully it'll run. Now what we're trying to do is get that flat car down here to the end. That's what it's going to do. And if you look behind you, that other engine just took off over there.
That statement again.
That engine over there is just taken off. It's running its own program. It's going to go all the way down to the sawmill. So it's got to back up through all these little switchbacks. It's an uncoupling ramp there, a Katie uncoupling ramp. And so the engine saw itself between there. If you can see over here, you can see these turning red and green. And because it's a Katie delayed uncoupler, it'll push it back, and when it gets to the end of where it's covered on that photo transistor, it'll stop.
So we need to make the point about going back and looking at the video about Katie on coupling ramps and dead pushing. This is a great example when you get the Katie system working correctly, what you can do with it. So we're going to end up leaving the caboose because we're trying to get the flat car put somewhere and we don't want the caboose at the end of the track, and the train's going to come forward and put the flat car away.
And then it'll go back and get the caboose.
Again, particularly when you get to equipment like this, a railroad like this, you don't want to be touching things. Leave the switch automatically through.
And I just redid the Katie right here where it's going to so you can see it. And hopefully it'll work right. That's the only problem that I still have sometimes.
A little nudge there. Now you can see the couplers opened up. Watch the one on the front of the engine. There you go. I'm going to back up past the switch. Switch through.
That's an awesome engine now.
I'm saying it's almost soundless.
And we're going back after our caboose.
So there's two of those.
Okay, now.
There are two photoelectric transistors back there, the photo transistors. So the first one is activated when it pushes it back, and then the second one is activated when it grabs it to connect it back up together.
So what does it do next?
It'll just go put it back up on that track that it started on. It will sit there for about 10 minutes, and then it'll go pick up the flat car.
Oh.
While this other engine is finished, he'll just stop right there.
So he's come all the way down to the lumber mill.
Yep. And that's what that little, this little connector down here, that's what that is that's another one of these that I'll be shortly.
Well, more power to all those people who have to paint brass engines. I did one, and I guess that gets me into qualified for my MMR or RMM. but believe me, that is a project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on a shake.
Well, yeah. I just did a 484 and still fooling with all the springs and taking the frame apart was quite a project.
Yeah. So this is kind of a big railroad that you can do in a small room.
Well, that's an excellent point. And the room size is what?
12 by 11.
12 by 11 room here, people. So, as you see Paul standing in here in the room, you've got quite a large thing. And when you get into modeling something of this nature, it's not about how many trains and how many cars you have. It's more about how much detail and accuracy you can get to the model to create a scene that does depict what in reality was took place. And just building these buildings is would be a large portion of a large amount of time to get them done. And then you can become an expert on hand-laying track and building switches.
That's it.
And even if you got to the point here, which most people would not be automated, just operating this in a conventional manner would be, if you had the sequence of the day's activities, can create a 3 to 4 hour operating session for several people.
is going to go back. He'll go back to exactly where he started. And then an engine would come down the switchback all the way down to the sawmill with the raw lumber. At that point, it changes into, they saw it up into timbers, 12 by 12 timbers, then bring it back up and bring it across over here and end up taking it up to the
So this is one of the gold mines. Okay.
if you look in there, it looks as if it's going really, really far back. And that's actually a mirror in there that
Yes.
is reflecting the angle.
Mirror inside, and the mirror is on an angle.
Right,
That's
so that you
the-
cannot see yourself.
Yeah, that's the trick of mirrors, people. I think I covered this at the BNSF Fall River Division. One of the great shots down the road. The mirror is either angle right or left, or it could be up or down, but it's fixed so you can't see yourself in it. That's the whole trick of the game. And our little engine has come back here and it's got the flat car.
It got falling off the bridge or what? Well, it's just kind of hanging here.
What I like on this scale is that the people are bringing up.
So when you do buildings, you do all of the interior work so that you can lift off the roof and people can see all this stuff. And then you finish the interiors of the building.
That's correct. Like here is the drill that will be in that building.
There you go.
And here is the lathe. And so, right, you want people to be able to see those things without having to pull them out.
There you go. A miniature lathe.
That is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.